Well, today the Medical Cannabis Commission held their third open meeting in Lincoln.
The public sharing their concerns about emergency regulations and hearing some updates from the board. First Alert 6 Sydney Babb joins us live in Lincoln now. And Sydney, can you tell us more about what you learned today?
Yeah, Brian and Jacqueline, the board talked about some of the work that they've been doing, as well as some of the roadblocks that they've hit along the way. One of those main things that the commission said that they're struggling with is limited staff and funding. They're looking to the Liquor Commission to help provide them for both. One board member also said that she's been talking to other states like Iowa and Georgia. Her goal, to get more advice about what Nebraska should do moving forward. The last thing they mentioned was the research preventing them from allowing flavored products or smoking for medical reasons. A lot of people spoke in favor of those things today, arguing that they should be allowed because of chronic conditions and things like nausea. But the board explained that there are no current FDA regulations for medicine that is smoke. And they also stated that flavorful or colorful packaging can be dangerous for kids in proximity. Now, in addition to those updates, the board also mentioned that the Cannabis Commission website is open and accepting applications. We'll have that for you on our website. In Lincoln, I'm Sydney Babb, First Alert 6.
Sydney, thank you.